A wonderful day to everyone. Hi, Coach Jude, my dear classmates. I am Jetrin Bilazano. I am the little teacher of Study Hub number 1, The Viridis. And for today's presentation, we are going to present to you the factors affecting adolescents' development. And this is to be done by my student teachers and yours truly. Let's get started.
Factors affecting adolescent development. So in physical development, the first one is breast budding and menstruation at the age of 12 to 13 years old. So it is breast buds typically grow 2 to 2.5 years before your period begins. But if you see your breast buds at an early age, when you're at the age of 8 or 9, your period may take closer to 3 years to begin. So number 2 is the reduced baby fats at the age of 17 years old. So we as a young in particular require a sufficient amount in their diet to support appropriate brain and nervous system development. So fats, in addition to providing fuel for the body, aid in the absorption of certain vitamins. So this is the only absorption is fat is present in the diet. The third one is the pubic hair at the age of 16 years old. So our genital region skin is sensitive. So during intercourses and the other activities, pubic hair works as a protective buffer, minimizing friction, because it's simpler to brush hair against hair than it is to touch skin against skin. So some sources refer to pubic hair as a dry lubricant. The fourth one is to develop acne at the age of 17 and a half years old. So it is according to the comprehensive analysis of studies, acne can have a negative impact on a teen's self-esteem and quality of life, and can even lead to despair and psychological disorders. So as a result of this risk, dermatologists should consider their patient's mental health when treating acne, according to study researcher. So the fifth one is the hip's development. It is the child's hip originates as a condensation of mesoderm in the lower limb bud during intrauterine development and rapidly develops to resemble the adult hip by 8 weeks of life. So it is complex cell signaling pathways are used to relay development instruction. The sixth one is the slow physical growth at the age of 14 to 18 years old. So it is when a child not develop at the normal rate for their age. It is called a growth delay or an underlying health condition, such as growth hormone deficit or hypothyroidism. It can be causing the delay. Early treatment can help a child reach a normal or near normal height in some instances. So the last one is the developed body figure. It is growth spurts and puberty changes are common during adolescence. So adolescents may grow many inches in a few months. Then we will experience a period of very slow growth before experiencing another growth spurt. So the puberty or sexual maturation can bring about progressive changes or multiple indicators at once.
Intellectual development or the cognitive development means the growth of a child's ability to think or reason. This growth happens differently from ages 12 to 18 years old. It is ages 12 to 18 is called adolescents. And kids and teens in this age group do more complex thinking. This type of thinking, also known as formal logical operations, do abstract thinking. This means about possibility. Reason from known principle. This means forming own ideas or questions. Consider many points of view. This means to compare or debate ideas or option. Think about the process of thinking. This means being aware of the act of thought processes. From ages 12 to 18, children grow in the way they think. They move from concrete thinking to formal logical operations. It's important to note that each child moves ahead at their own rate in their ability to think in more complex ways. Each child develops their own view of the world. Some children may be able to use logical operations in schoolwork long before they can use them for personal problems. Fourth, when emotional issues come up, they can cause problems with child's ability to think in complex way. And last, the ability to consider possibilities and facts may affect decision making. This can happen in either positive or negative ways.
Language development in children from 0 to 8 years old. Key points. Language development support many other aspects of development like cognitive, social, and literacy development. Language development starts with sounds and gestures, then words and sentences. You can support language development by talking a lot with your child and responding with your child communicates. Reading books and sharing stories is good for language development. If you're worried about language development, talk with a child health professional. Language development in children. Language development is an important part of child development. It supports your child's abilities to communicate. It also supports your child's ability to express the understanding feelings, think and learn, solve problem, development and maintaining relationship. How to encourage early language development in children. The best way to encourage your child's language development is to do a lot of talking together about things that interest your child. It's all about following your child's lead as they show you what they're interested in by waving, babbling, or using words. Talking with your child from birth, talk with your child and treat them as a talker. The key is to use many different words in different contexts. For example, you can talk to your child about an orange ball and about cutting up an orange for lunch. This helps your child learn what words mean and how words work. When you finish talking, pause and give a child a turn to respond. As your child starts to coo, gurgle, wave, and point, you can respond to your child's attempts to communicate. For example, if your baby caused a googler, you can coo back to them. Or if your toddler points to a toy, responds as if your child is saying, "Can I have that?" For example, you could say, "Do you want that black?" When your child starts using word, you can repeat and build on what your child say. For example, if your child say apple, you can say, "You want a red apple?" And it's the same when your child starts making sentences. You can respond and encourage your child to expand their sentences. For example, your toddler might say, "I go shop." You might respond, "And what did you do at the shop?" You can pay attention and respond to your child in this way. It encouraged them to keep communicating and developing their language skills. Language development at the first 8 years. Here are just few of the important things of your child might achieve in language development between 3 months and 8 years. 3 to 12 months. At 3 months, your baby will most likely coo, smile, and laugh. As they grow, your baby will begin to play with sounds and communicate with gestures like waving and pointing. At around 4 to 6 months, your baby will probably start babbling. Baby will make single syllable sounds like ba first before repeating them ba ba ba. Babbling is followed by the jargon faced. When your child might sound like they're telling you something but their speech won't sound like recognizable words. First words with meaning often around 12 months or so. If your baby isn't babbling and isn't using gesture by 12 months, talk to your GP or child and health family nurse. From 12 to 18 months. At this age, children often say their first word with meaning. For example, when your child says dada, your child is actually calling for dad. In the next few months, your child's vocabulary will grow. Your child can understand more than they can say. They can also follow simple instruction like sit down. Next, we have 18 months to 2 years. Most children will start to put together into short sentences. You will understand much of what you say, and you can understand most of what your children says to you. Unfamiliar people will understand about half of what your children say. If your child doesn't have some words by around 18 months, talk to your GP or child and family health nurse or other health professional. Next, we have 2 years to 3 years. Your child most likely speaks in sentence of 3 to 4 words and is getting better at saying words correctly. Your child might play and talk. At the same time, strangers can probably understand about 3/4 of what your children says by the time your children is 3. And next, we have 3 to 5 years. You can expert longer, more complex conversations about your child's thoughts and feelings. Your child might also ask about things, people, and places that aren't in front of them. For example, is it raining at grandma's house too? Your child will probably also want to talk about wide range of topic and their vocabulary will keep growing. Your child might show understanding of basic grammar and start using sentences with words like because, if, so, or when. And you can look forward to something entertain stories too. Last, we have 5 to 8 years. During the early school years of child, we learn more words and start to understand how the sounds within language work together. Your child would also become a better storyteller as they learn to put words together in different ways and build different types of sentences. These skills also let your child share ideas and opinion by 8 years and you will be able to have an adult-like conversations. So that is the language development.
Hi, Coach Jude. Good morning, classmates. By the way, my name is Cyrus Sama from Study Hub number 1. Factors affecting adolescent development. Emotional development. Adjustment to a new body image. Findings suggest that multidimensional body image is associated with physical and mental well-being. In China's breast cancer survivals, body image appears to play a larger role in urban breast cancer survival mental well-being. Number 2. Adaptation to emerging sexuality. is a difficult process that some humans encounter that can affect their interdependence, but its impact in human interdependence has received less attention. Therefore, this study aims to explain humans' interdependence after sympterectomy. Number 3. Establishment of emotional separation is a multidimensional construct that includes a number of inter- and intrapersonal processes related to the acquisition of fundamental social emotional competences such as ability, the standard recognizing and label one's and other emotion. Number 4. Establishment of a personal sense of identity, developed over time for all human beginning at birth. It relates to understanding what is you versus all the things and people in the world. Number 5. Further separation from parents, including perceived guilt, blame, stressor, or manage resources for us children. It is not surprising that parental separation has also been reported. Number 6. Enterize and informing romantic relationship. Part of separation task implies separation from families are characterized by intimacy of good communication. Youth are happier than themselves. Young people value the support, trust, and closeness they experience in romantic relationships.
For social development, the process of social development moves adolescents from the limited roles of childhood to the broader roles of adulthood for young people. This transition includes first, we have the expanding their social circles. Young children mostly spend time with their family. Their social circle expands slightly as they enter school. By time they reach adolescence, their networks also can include people from team, sports, student organizations, job, and other activities. As their social circles expand, adolescents spend less time with their families and may focus more on their peers. Young people also develop a greater capacity to form stronger relationships with adults outside of their families who may function as mentors. Second, we have the expanding their social roles. The changes adolescents experience in the brain, emotions, and bodies frame them to take on more complex social roles. Cognitive and emotional development work together to help adolescents have deeper conversations and express their emotions better. Physical development signals that adolescents are becoming adults and that they may become entrusted with greater responsibility. Adolescents may assume new roles, such as taking on a leadership position in school, on a team, on a church, serving a confident or being romantic partner. Third, we have the varying rates of physical development. Adolescents' bodies change and develop at the different rates, and this process does not always happen in sync with other areas of development. For instance, those who develop physically at a relatively young age may be seen and treated more like adults, or they may end up spending more time with older youth because of how they look, a pattern that increases their potential for engaging in social relationships. However, there is more mature-looking adolescents may not be emotionally and cognitively ready to handle those new roles. On the other hand, adolescents who develop later may be seen and treated more like young children. Fourth, we have the evolving groups of friends. Acceptance by a peer group is crucial to adolescents, especially those who are younger. Seeking acceptance might spur them to change the way they think, speak, dress, and behave to make them feel they belong to the group. As a result, younger adolescents tend to hang out with the peers who are similar to them. We have the race, ethnicity, family, income, religion. Older adolescents may branch out to other groups as their social worlds diversify and expand. And at 5, differing types of peer pressure. Peer pressure sometimes get a bad reputation. That stereotype about this pressure stems from perceptions of delinquent and risky behaviors, including sexual activity and substance abuse, which some adolescents think will earn them greater acceptance among their peers. However, peer pressures can be beneficial and peer relationship can be largely positive. Positive peer groups practice behaviors such as cooperating, sharing, resolving conflicts, and supporting others. The accepted standards or norms of positive peer groups can help adolescents build relationship skills, hold favorable views of themselves, and have the confidence to take positive risks. Last, we have the changing ways to interact. As with all technologies, using social media carries both potential risks and potential benefits for adolescents. Text messaging, social networking platforms, blogs, email, and instant messaging can help adolescents stay connected to each other and express who they are to the world. Today's adolescents have such large social networks that it is not uncommon to have virtual friendships with peers they have never met face-to-face. This digital interaction may curtail non-verbal communication and cues that occur in person that are important for developing skills. But these interactions are still social and meaningful to the adolescents who are participate in them. At the same time, technology and social media have also provided a new forum for harassment. In addition to the 20% of high school students who reported being bullied in school, the previous year, 2015, another 16% reported being bullied online.
Meant for male. Rapidly skeletal growth, enlargement of testes 11 to 12 years old, changing of boys 12 to 14 years old, pubic hair or body hair 19 to 20 years old, increased musculature 17 years old, developed acne 17 and a half years old, develop their height and weight 19 to 21 years old. General physical changes adolescent experience. The changes that occurs both inside and outside the body during adolescence happen through a process called puberty. This process stems from the release of certain hormones or chemical in the brain. The physical changes in adolescents shift them from their childhood bodies to their adult bodies and give them the ability to fertility. Male. Shoulder become broader and their muscles get bigger. The bicep, tricep, and etc. The private part or the penis and testicles also grow and begin to experience erection and ejaculations, both voluntary and involuntarily, sometimes happening while asleep, and it's normal for men. Men, boys, deeper during this time, and many crack during shift.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening and for watching our video. I hope you learned a lot from our presentation, especially from all the dimension parts of factors affecting adolescence.